Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trek Canon. You know, when I was a young cadet just entering Starfleet Academy, one of my biggest dreams was to captain my own starship because there's no job in Starfleet that has more prestige, more honor, more fulfillment than being a captain of your own starship. You know, I wanted to be an admiral for a very short period of time, but then once I realized that to be an admiral, you had to have a certain amount of evil backhandedness and willingness to break all kind of orders, I decided, that wouldn't be a good thing for me. I decided to stick with the captain. Anyway, being a captain, though, isn't for the timid because exploring the unknown, the final frontier, comes with certain mysteries, certain unknowns, certain evils and dangers, right? That you can find yourself in rather quickly. So what I decided to do today was to compile a list of about my top 12 soul survivors in Star Trek canon. So let's get started. So at number 12, we're going to start off with Charlie Evans. A lot of people know him as Charlie X from the original series. See, here's the thing. His transport ship, which wasn't really named in the episode, crash landed on his planet called Theseus, right? And he was the only survivor as this little kid. Now, the reason why he ranks so far down on this list is because the Thasians who rescued him basically taught him how to be a demigod. They gave him telekinetics, telepathy, ESPN2. Yes, I said ESPN2. How to communicate with machines, man, read people. The dude became a straight demigod. He ended up having to go back with the Thasians, but surviving the crash and becoming a demigod is why he's so far down on this soul survivor list. At number 11, we got Captain Ronald Tracy, man from the Exeter. Look, they from the original series. Look, what's going on with him, man, is that, of course, the captain got to beam down with the away team to the first contact unknown planet. Well, see, on this particular mission, they ended up contracting this virus. And when the away team beamed back up, they spread the virus around the crew, and the virus ended up killing everybody on the ship, and the ship remained in orbit. Captain Tracy stayed down on the planet because he found out that being on a planet gives him immunity to this particular virus. He also ends up proceeding to break the prime directive and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's at number 11. And number 10, we got a legacy character that's actually going to appear twice on this list. But this time it's Captain Montgomery Scott from the episode Relics of the Next Generation. And he was on board the USS Janolan when it went down at the Dyson Sphere. He was actually not the only survivor at that time. It was another crew member that survived with him to basically stave off and to rescue Captain Scott. Devised, of course, an ingenious way to put themselves inside the buffer in a transporter. But when they was rescued some 70, 80 something years later, his pattern had degraded so much he couldn't be rescued, leaving Captain Scott the sole survivor. And the thing about this is, man, only the fact that he's been through so much with Kirk and everything like that, ends up going to retire, ends up crash landing on the planet, and then when he's finally rescued is 70 or 80 something years after his time of retirement. Like, that dude had terrible luck. At number 9, we got Dorian Collins, man. See, he served aboard the Valiant. He was a Red Squad member. They all decided, hey, man, we as Red Squad members, with the lack of actual Starfleet officers on board, we're gonna attack the Dominion battle cruiser. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Nog and Cisco, they was on board, and I'm talking about Jake. They was on board because they had got rescued by the Valiant, but they wasn't originally part of the Valiant's crew. Anyway, when the Valiant was destroyed, Dorian was was the only survivor of the original Valiant crew, and I know he felt terrible about that, man. Because if you remember how he looked when he was laying in sick bay at the end of that episode, like. At number 8, we got the intelligent and beautiful Lieutenant Savick. Look, see, here's the thing. Lieutenant Savick served aboard the USS Grissom, which was basically destroyed by Khan when Savick and David beamed down to the Genesis planet to take some scans and all that kind of stuff. You would think that, hey, why is she on this list, though, if she beamed down to the planet with David? Because, as most people should know, David, which is Kirk's son, basically didn't make it off the Genesis planet, leaving Lieutenant Savick the sole survivor of the USS Grissom. At number 7, we got the youngest person to appear in canon that qualifies for this list, and that person's name is Timothy. See, the thing about Timothy is he served aboard the USS Vico in the Next Generation. Basically, the Vico was destroyed by these like gravimetric bubbles that existed inside this particular unknown anomaly that was getting charted. He got rescued by the crew of the Enterprise and basically helped save their lives through communicating with data of excellence. That episode covered a lot of trauma, man. That kid, look, that was a great episode. If you ever get a chance to watch it, check it out. At number 6, we got the lovely Vina, right from the original series. See, the thing about Vina is she was on board the USS Columbia when it crashed on Talos 4. The thing about that is that she was the only survivor. Well, she was about to be she was all jacked up, like all jacked up, like just all jacked up. Anyway, the Telosians ended up saving her life the only way they knew how, which was, hey, let's put her together the way we think she looked because they had never seen what a human looks like. But see, the thing is, you're a humanoid, so you should be able to be like, hey, man, we smart. You look humanoid-ish, although you kind of in parts. Look, that's a whole nother story. Now, at number 5, we got the sorry story of Colonel Stephen Ritchie, I believe his name was, from the Next Generation. See, the thing about Colonel Ritchie is he was a member of NASA, and he served on the shuttle, the SS Columbia. Now, look, let me tell you something what happened with that, man, because not only did they crew get infected or contaminated by an alien that ended up meeting them, right? It had great intentions, but being in proximity to this alien contaminated them. They ended up dying in a little cryogenics tubes and all that kind of stuff. Colonel Ritchie ended up then going through a wormhole with the alien on board and everything like that. The alien felt sorry for him, decided, hey man, we're gonna take you and make you this whole little place on this planet, where he ended up living the rest of his life inside the basically a simulation created by the alien who thought that the Casino Royale was how humans were supposed to live. Let me back up to Vina for a second. See, because the thing about Vina is because she's with the Telosians, right? With Captain Pike, spoilers. And they could basically put you in any environment you want to. I think Vina, although her and Pike are basically the only humans that they're ever going to see again because Talos 4 is off limits, she's able to exist anyway or in whatever universe or reality or dream that her or Pike can think of. Coming down to number 4, appearing for the second time, Lieutenant Junior Grade Montgomery Scott. See, the thing about I think he was on the Starship, the USS Stardiver. Now, the thing about the Stardiver is he got attacked by a Gorn ship. Basically, everybody on board was the way going do with people. But Montgomery Scott was able to get away on a shuttle or escape pod or something like that, where he basically did his Montgomery Scott engineering magic stuff to make the shuttle give off a signal to make it appear that it was another Gorn vessel. Now for the next top 3, I'm gonna have to put on my glasses so I could be able to hear everything I'm saying. At number 3, we got Commodore Decker from the original series. Episode was the Doomsday Machine. He served aboard the USS Constellation. Look, the thing about Commodore Decker is that his story is just real bad. Here he is, man, coming up against this unknown, impervious, just super deadly weapon that's basically destroying planets and using the rubble from those planets as fuel. So he decides, hey, man, I'm going to use my vessel. I'm going to go up against this thing, man, but I'm going to try to keep my crew safe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to beam them down to one of these planets, and I'm going to go up against this Doomsday Machine. But the thing is that the Doomsday Machine destroyed that planet and ate it all up, and Commodore Decker was the sole survivor for a short period. Now, at number 2, this is probably one of the saddest sole survivor stories to me. And this is Captain Lisa Kosak from the episode The Sound of Her Voice from Deep Space Nine. See, the thing about Lisa Kosak is that it says here that she served aboard the USS Olympia. And the thing is, they crashed because of I think it was it was metrion radiation that caused the vessel to crash, killing everybody on board. She was the only survivor. Now, here's the thing about what makes that, besides what she just went through, so sad, because she ends up tinkering with the communications device and using a nearby wormhole to send a help signal that was picked up by Dr. Julian Bashir aboard Deep Space Nine. But the thing is that you know how the effects of wormholes are most of the time. It had a time dilation effect, meaning that she had ended up dying a long time ago before they was able to actually rescue her off the planet. Great episode. Now, let's talk about what I believe is the worst situation for a sole survivor. And this happened with one of the crew members of the USS Pungent Sound. That's a crazy name, but there you go. From the Strange New World series. And that is Lieutenant Leon Nguyen Singh. See, here's the thing about that. Because everybody on her ship on the Pungent Sound was captured and taken to a Gorn, basically a nursery planet, where they were released on the planet. Well, some of them was released, others of them was basically cut open and used to nurse Gorn eggs, but the rest of them was basically set free, and Gorn kids was hunting them down, and yeah, Leon and her brother was the only two remaining, and her brother ended up giving his life to save hers. Since she was the sole survivor, the Gorn took her off the planet in some kind of cool predator type of, you know, ritual reward type of thing, and yeah, she ended up getting away. Now, that's one of the reasons why if I decide to become a Starship captain, I know although it's going to be a prestigious, honorable, and, you know, just fulfilling job, I will always have to stay on my toes and choose the best crew members. Especially, you got to have Data and Spock. You're going to have Data and Spock in the crew because things can pop off at any time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, peace, recycle, and say the whales. You guys be cool.